We still ahead, ladies and gentlemen, Nile TV International, and this is a special edition on the latest developments in the region, as we're still talking about the fragile ceasefire between U.S. and Iran and the hostilities over there. Still talking about the stagnation of the negotiations, and also talking about the latest Gulf hostilities which flared anew on Wednesday with Iranian missiles attacking Kuwait, Bahrain and other regional targets in the Gulf region. Kuwait said that Iranian attacks on the territory had killed one person and wounded several others, like 61 prisoners or 63, as well as forcing its airport to close and damaging the unnamed diplomatic missions. Of course, many repercussions on the latest developments over there, and which dragging the whole region into chaos, which President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had warned several times against. Well, and to shed more light on this, we are most delighted to be joined over the phone by our prominent guest, Dr. Mohamed Salah, the political analyst. Dr. Salah, great pleasure having you with us.
Let me first say that good evening for you and for all of your followers. I would like to say that we are in front of another accident that's happening on our brothers on Gulf area, another targeting, another missiles and the drone attacks against two of our brother countries in Gulf area. And I'd like to say that it's clear now that we are not in front of a certain in the front of what's called a negotiation process. I'd like to say that we are now in the front of a new form or a new way of the war between Iran and America.
It's a new phase, actually, yes. And as you mentioned, and Egypt has condemned strongly the latest developments and the strikes by Iran to the Kuwaiti and the Bahrainian targets, the brotherly nations. And Cairo also reaffirmed that Gulf security, and this is what also President al-Sisi always reaffirms and stresses, that the Gulf security is a main pillar and red line, and is supposed to be a main pillar to the Arab national security, which means the Egypt's national security. How you read this first, and then we go through the other details, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to say about the
condemnation of Egypt.
Yeah. The Egyptian position regarding what happened. Let us say that Egypt, the national security of Egypt and Gulf area in general is very related, and I think that we do not have any near brothers or any brothers such as Gulf countries. I'd like to say that we have lots of political relations between Egypt and them, and I think that President al-Sisi has announced many times before that serving the national security of the Gulf countries is one of the Egyptian targets, or one of the Egyptian main policies regarding the regional system in general. And I'm sure that, and as we have seen now, we are in the front of aggression against civil targets. You are not talking about military bases. You are not talking about military targets. Now we are targeting these civil bases. It means that you are not targeting America in general, but you are targeting the national security of the Arab countries, which is continued to be, or which is represented as a red line for the Egyptian state in general, and that have been mentioned many times before by President
Yeah, as you mentioned, and as it's actually the case is They are threatening the whole region. I mean, the Iranian attacks or the latest hostilities made by Iran. And I mean, what I'd like you to actually analyze also the latest statements of Iran. From the other side, Iran is accusing Kuwait and Bahrain on Wednesday of allowing the United States to use their territory to launch attacks on an Iranian tanker and island. And it condemned Washington for the strikes. How you read this or analyze this?
What I would like to say is that both sides are
they are trying to justify what?
Both of them, America and Iran, is exchanging or accusing each other by targeting their targets or keeping or actually or accusing about the current situation in the Gulf area, and do not know what. I think that we have said a national statement done by CENTCOM, said that they have found or they have faced the Iranian attacks. On the other side, when you read the Iranian speeches, you know that they are facing or they are responding to American attacks. You do not know the truth of these actions. As I would like to say that we have what's called a ceasefire. Now it's not are into military actions. We are in the entire state of ceasefire or the entire state of a ceasefire. At the same time, we have to know that both times is taking that or is saying that the other side is attacking them, and the second most important also is that both sides also is strongly try to keep the ceasefire agreement alive. And this is very important, and this is very ambiguous at the same time. We do not know whether they are negotiating with each other, do not know whether they are fighting with each other. There is no clear evidence for negotiations or for war at the same time.
Yeah, it's a sort of attrition war. No peace, no deal or no deal. Still always enhancing, reforming the conditions, still working on such the nuclear program of Iran, and which the Donald Trump had opposed from the very beginning, which have been ratified or signed by the former President Barack Obama with Iran before in 2015. And now talking about Marco Rubio had stated today that the first ever condition in the negotiations should be Strait of Hormuz and then the nuclear program. So it's unclear.
I'd like to say that the Strait of Hormuz now is representing the priority, the first priority for the American side and for the world in general, not about the Iranian nuclear system. I'd like to say that also or the main targets for America now is how to regain or how to reopen the Strait of Hormuz in order to serve.
How to regain and how to reopen, Doctor, and sorry for interrupting you. Many reports are talking that this is a failure of the U.S. side. I mean, that they couldn't even secure or to stabilize or to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. So it's a sort of failure for the American side. How can you describe it as well?
I totally agree with these explanations, and I'd like to say also that the Strait of Hormuz was not a problem before the war started at the end of last February this year. We did not have any problem regarding the Strait of Hormuz or regarding energy supplies to the world in general. We do not have any threats or any threats regarding the global economy in general. All of these actions and all of these problems is a sign of the failure of the American war against Iran in general. And most of the American experts are saying or are describing this war as a non-strategic war. They do not have a real or a constant strategic goals to achieve throughout war actions. They do not know what are the priorities, what are the needs, or what are the needs for this war, or what are the reasons to enter this war, and giving or producing this terrible outcomes to not only for the Americans, but not only for the Middle East, but for the global economy in general.
For the whole world as well, the whole economy, the global economy, even the citizens everywhere in the globe, and now have been affected by the war in Iran.
So I totally agree with that, and you have to know well that we have a lot of threats comes out the American war against Iran, which regarding many sectors in the global economy, especially we are talking about food and beverage, when we are talking about oil and about natural gas. All of these supplies were totally harmed or totally affected, harmfully affected by the American attacks against Iran. And this gives us a reason, or gives us one main important notice that there is no plans for the American side against this war. They do not have any scenarios. They do not have any ways to quit out the war. When you enter any war, you have to keep both plans, or two plans in general. First is how to open this war and the goals you need to achieve. And the second is how to exit, or take a decision to exit this war.
But they do not have a scenario, an exit scenario.
America do not have the second scenario.
Yeah, exactly, and they failed even to try to write this scenario, or to imagine this scenario, which had threatened the whole region. The whole region is now on the brink, and which is the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have warned many times, even before the eruption, the start of the war. Now we're talking about the Iran attacking and striking the neighbors in the Gulf region, and just this led themselves in one front against all the others, even all the neighbors, not only the American side and Israel, but even the whole region, all neighbors. Also in Lebanon, we cannot even enjoy peace in Lebanon because Israel is using the war on Iran actually to expand their invasion in Lebanon and in Gaza as well. So what's your take on this?
Although I'd like to say that Iran has a lots of allies in the Middle East, like Hezbollah in Lebanon, and like Al-Houthis in Yemen. And
but Hezbollah is suffering in Lebanon, and the Lebanese are now suffering.
And the Middle East, I'd like to say that I'm talking about the relations between Iran and its arms.
Yeah, it's one arm
of the Middle East,
yes.
on the current conflicts of the Middle East, which will not lead. You are not talking about a constant situation regarding Iran, but you are talking about the whole regional system, which makes the problem, or which makes the problems is not easy to solve. Is that you are not related with a certain global economy or regional problem, but you are talking about the whole problem regarding the region in general. If we have a further look, also we will find another conflict which emerges from this war, which is between America and Russia and China on the other hand. All of these struggles are affecting the war in the Middle East, and all of these struggles do not make it easy to find or to reach an end for these problems or for this struggle. At the same time, what we want to say also on this area in general, that is they are fighting for the whole region, not about Iran, not about Lebanon, not about Yemen. They are talking about a complete regional system, which will be new after the end of this war. And we have listened a lot about speeches by President Trump about annexing or about dragging most of the Arab nations into Abraham records. And this is also one of the goals of this war. So we are not talking about a geographical conflict. We are not talking about Strait of Hormuz. We are not talking about the Iranian missiles system or nuclear system or drone systems. All of these goals are not only the goals of this war. And the main goals or the other goals are the relations between Iran and China and Russia. This is one of the most important goals. And the other is the new regional system that will be produced during as a result of this war. And these goals couldn't be announced or said by the American side.
Yeah, they're here talking about the multipolar system, the new multipolar system, and the hot word after this war in the region. Dr. Salah, also Iran had attacked the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters located in Bahrain, and as well as an air base and helicopters in an unexpected and specified regional country. What are the measures you think that should be taken to protect the Gulf security? I mean, of course, it will lead to more escalation. So,
regarding attacking the American bases in Gulf countries, the Iranian goal is I think is not accepting or not giving the America the chance to go back to war actions again. And I would like to say that ceasefire do not mean the end of military actions.
Yeah, of course. Iran even does expect that the war with U.S. is invadable. This is what the Iranian officials had said yesterday night.
Yes, and you have to know all that American side in general is treating with negotiations as a part of the war action in general. They are not talking about negotiations in order to reach a solution, but they are talking as a break. They use it as a kind of a break to the American troops for renewing their weapons, to renewing their actions, their plans, having another information, especially we are talking about intelligence information to help them to achieve their goals. So we have to know well that both sides of them, especially America, is preparing himself to go back to war actions again. And this is what are the reasons. What are the reasons for the Iranian attacks against the American bases yesterday and today also in Kuwait and in Bahrain?
Yeah, talking again that we are on the brink. The whole region is on the brink. We're talking that we are all in the bottleneck now. So even the future or scenarios, even to anticipate or to try to expect such future scenarios for the situation after such escalation and the whole region, nobody can even do it because of the VOCA itself. The VOCA is not only an economy, but the volatility and uncertainty in the whole situation. If you can just tell us your expectation for the scenario after such escalation.
Well, I would like to say that we have three expectations for the end of this war in general. The first is
total end?
An agreement.
Total end? Great, please tell us.
The first is reaching an agreement with Iran, and the second will be giving or quitting the war by a strong attack against the Iranian infrastructure, especially about oil resources and energy supplies. And the third will be a regional system or another regional system comes out from the outcomes of this war. But I think the third is not very easy to happen and is not accepted. Which is very applicable is one of the first two scenarios, I think.
Yeah, and the issue is actually that the each port or each front, I mean the front of the U.S. and the front of the of Tehran, everyone is actually consisting on no concessions and determining of no concessions. So this makes the whole situation actually more complicated, and we're just trying to hold our breath and just to pray to God, and the diplomacy maybe will just bring them back into the negotiating table to try to get out of such bottleneck. Well, Dr. Mohamed Salah, political analyst, many thanks for your insights and for your views and for being with us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, by this we come to the end of our special edition for now. Always for more news and update, join us at NileInternational.net. Nile TV International is your gateway to the world. Many thanks for watching. And from myself, Hanan El Khoury.